Hey everyone, so we are going to be going over variety and emphasis next. So this is just kind of like an introductory video and PowerPoint to show you so we can kind of get used to these concepts. We're just continuing on with our understanding of the principles of design, and these are two principles that we often see and are pretty fun. So first we have variety, and variety is the principle of art concerned with difference or contrast. So there are a lot of places we can see variety in daily life. We can see it in, changing the paint color or the furniture in your room because you feel like you need a change. I know sometimes I'm like, I need, something has to change. And so I'll rearrange the furniture in my room maybe like once a year just to have some new stuff to look at or a different way to experience it. So sometimes we can try to like invite variety into our daily life by doing things like getting new clothing as our preferences change, or maybe you realize that you've been wearing the same like maroon jacket for 3 years and you're like, I need a little bit of variety. So you decide to get a green jacket so you can swap them out. Also, when you meet new people that are different than friends you've had before, that gives you kind of a variety in different types of people that you're friends with, so that you kind of have different experiences. So we can think of variety like that. Visually, variety can happen in a lot of ways. You can see a variety of color. Here we have a whole bunch of different colors together. Variety of shapes. These are a lot of different shapes. We have geometric forms and more organic forms. Here's a variety of lines. We talk about different line weights a lot. We have like a very thin line, a very thick line. They're two different types, so it's a variety. Excuse me. And a variety of size. So, we have like a giant leaf here, and then a really small one, and then a tiny one with a bunch of really super tiny leaves on it. So that's variety because we have three different sizes. And here we have a variety of perspective. We talked about cubism a little tiny bit when we went over abstract art, if you can recall that. And this is a variety of perspective. It's kind of like cubism because here we have like this eye. But we also have an eye right here. So it's kind of assumed that this person is like this is like a profile. We're seeing them from the side, but we're also seeing them head on because we can see both of their eyes here. And then as another example, we have a variety of textures. So this is an example. This artist is in the textbook. There is variety in this painting, and you can, or I think it's actually a print, not a painting. Excuse me. But you can see there's a variety in shape. So we have these spheres, and they're kind of impacting this rectangular shape and causing it to fold up and kind of morph. We also have all these little squares and triangles in here giving us a variety of shape. We also have a variety of colors. So we have blue, red, and yellow. So that's one way to see variety. This ceramic piece by Bruce Sherman, it has variety because we have a bunch of different colors together. We have a lot of different shapes and forms. We have some organic forms, and then we have some more almost geometric forms. And we also have a variety of color. We have like pink and different types of blue. We have like speckly things going on. This is also a really fun example of variety. And this is a ceramic sculpture. And this artist has used different types of glaze. So if you've ever had a ceramics class and you've used glaze, you can do some pretty crazy stuff with it. This is more of like a foaming glaze that he's used, and you can see that the texture of it is a lot different. So we have one texture here, and then we have this really like gritty, it looks like cottage cheese, and then we have this kind of matte texture. So all these different textures working together creates variety. And then, obviously we have color. So we have yellow, pink, green, like a really super dark green or a black right there. So we have a variety of color as well. And then here, this is a pretty cool painting. We have lots of pink, but we have a variety in shape because we have all of these stripes, this wild kind of shape. And you see how these are kind of like plain stripes, but here we have these like really directional, fast moving stripes that almost work like texture. So there's kind of a variety in texture and shape here. And here's a painting by Barbara Marx. You can see we have a variety of color and lots of different shapes happening here. We have some rectangles, some cylinders. So the next word we're going to go over is emphasis. So this principle of art makes one part of a work dominant over the other part. One example of emphasis that's not directly like visual art related might be if you're like listening to a song and there's kind of like a really quiet moment and then it gets really loud all of a sudden. That part is being emphasized because it's a lot louder than the part before it. So you can kind of think of visual art like if you have like a kind of quote unquote loud object that's like visually louder or bigger or brighter than the others, then that is being emphasized. So just like variety, we can see emphasis in a lot of places. So this black house is emphasized because it's bigger than all of these other houses. This shape is really emphasized because it's very organic compared to these geometric shapes. We can add detail to things to emphasize them. So if you have all these houses in the background, but you don't have any of their details drawn, but this house has all the details on it, then it has emphasis because our eye is kind of drawn to all those details. Contrast can give emphasis. So although this house is bigger, this house is yellow and it stands out more. So it's got a lot of contrast. You can isolate objects to show emphasis. So all of these are all together in this group, but this house is all off on its own, so it's emphasized. And then with the color, all of these are kind of different shades of tan or beige, but this one's blue, and so that one stands out to us. So this is Richard Keane painting. The middle kind of circular object here is emphasized because it's right in the middle, it's really big, and it's black, and the rest of the painting's blue, but also this line up here is very emphasized because the color contrasts so much with everything else going on. These are all really cool and kind of dark colors, and then we have this super bright orangey yellow line up here. So our eye is kind of like drawn to that, and that's emphasized in this painting. We have this cool picture by Fragonard. If you've ever seen Tangled, I think this painting was featured in it. Lots of people know it from that, but it's also just a really beautiful painting. But this figure in the middle, she's being emphasized because all of this sunlight is being cast on her, and all of these other people are kind of in the shadows. And then this really cool painting, this square in the middle is really kind of emphasized. You can see all of these kind of rays and lines pointing towards it, so our eye is just drawn straight towards it. And then finally, this is a cool example of an old altarpiece work of art. This is a painting, and all of this is so vibrant and gold and beautiful, but these two figures in the middle are really emphasized because of their size. They're a lot larger than all of these other figures, and also the colors that they're wearing. So we might see some of this color kind of repeated throughout, but this large like use of the color, like there's a lot of it here, really kind of draws our eyes to it. And then they're also lit differently. I feel like there's like light coming down on them right here, and it's kind of radiating off on all these people. So they're kind of like in the dark, but the light's kind of radiated onto this crowd. Oh, and cool, I forgot I have this one. This is a really good use of emphasis with lighting. You can see that this person's face is really lit up, so we're very drawn to it. We almost don't even see like what she's wearing. You can't even like see the outfit because her face is so bright. So that's really being emphasized. So cool. That is kind of a little overview on variety and emphasis. You will be taking some notes on these definitions. I will post the instructions on our Google Classroom, and we will do kind of an activity with these two words. So watch out for that instruction, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions or if you're having trouble with the textbook, and I'll help you out the best I can. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.